For yet another edition of Temidlalo on a Wednesday, where one would say for the second time since we moved your Temidlalo edition on a Wednesday. So a meeting for the second time where we'll be looking at once again sporting activities that are making headlines in the Kingdom of Eswatini, especially looking at those that are upcoming and those that just finished this past weekend. Once again, as a viewer, to remind you that this is your best station to give you the sporting activities, be it local, international. The 2022 World Cup Qatar will be here live on Eswatini TV. 29 games will be brought here live, just to update you. Otherwise, as your host today, Fabrice Musona, once again, we're looking at some of the activities that will be making headlines so shortly in the upcoming week. Momont Electrical Contractors, once again, they'll be sponsoring the 4th edition of Momont Sticks MTB race. We hear from the representative of the organization, Momont Electrical Contractors. What is the reason behind they keep on emphasizing their presence in cycling and other sporting codes? What can we expect in this year's edition? What is the distance looking like? What are the rewards? What is everything that has to do with the race on the day looking like? Otherwise, our in-house analyst will shortly follow after Momont Electrical, just to give us also the overview of this past weekend. For a surprise, there was the Nedbank Sibebe Survivors this past weekend, where we look at now a few new anglers that were introduced during the Sibebe Survivors, where we can also look at techball as one of the dominating sports in the country. They were at the center stage there at Sibebe. Talking about techball, they began their qualifiers for 2022 World Championship in Germany, late in November this year. We know some of the teams that have already qualified to represent the country in the Kingdom of Eswatini. Otherwise, sit tight. 3 chances you can use to watch us live. It could be through your school journey, live in the comfort of your seat at home. It can be through YouTube, where you type the word Temidlalo live show, and you can also be through Eswatini TV app, where just to register, it's only 20 emalangeni. They're already in the house. These 2 representatives, they are from Momont Electrical Contractors by the name of Tuli Nhlego and Kapsile SBC. They are going to give us a short background information on what can we expect on this day, why are they involved once again in another edition, and why sport has been the center stage they are using as a way to give back to the community.
Sivusele bhuti sivusele nembukele ekhaya. Ngithole inhleko njengoba sikashilo bhuti from Momont Electrical Contractors.
Yes.
I'm here as the race admin for the Momont Sticks MTB, which we last did in 2019.
Yes.
So now we're here to present the 4th edition of the Sticks MTB. It's not going to be as big as the previous races because we had this 2 years gap, COVID gap. But we promise we're going to give our cyclists the best MTB as we always do.
All right, beautiful stuff. You can hear, if you're a cyclist, wherever you are, whatever club that you represent, there is a lot in store for you. To you, Maggie Spies. Or Mrs. Spies, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Sivusele Makaya. Njengoba sekachazile makenhleko irace yethu ikhona this year. Ihamba ke nga 5 categories. Yekuqala lenkulu, it's the 50 kilometers, 200 emalangeni, and then the second one is the 30 kilometers, 150 emalangeni.
True.
And then the third one, 20 kilometers, 120 emalangeni. Bese sekuba 10 kilometers, 100 emalangeni, and then we've got the kiddies race, yona ke 75 emalangeni.
Just to the viewer, the bigger picture, the word that keeps on dominating, at some point involved in other sporting courses, but now this is the 4th edition. Between you and Cycling Association so far, why cycling? And I think you've been at the center stage of this relationship between the 2 organizations. Why cycling for the 4th time once again?
We're into cycling because our directors, they are into extreme sports.
Yes.
MTB is an extreme sport. So they decided as a contractor, we should do something to give back to the community. Then we found out, okay, we can do less sport, and invite our friends to join us, as well as our suppliers and clients.
All right.
Yeah.
And so far, how the experience, just the first edition, if you recall, how maybe well organized it was, but just the passion that comes with the directors, I understand. But now, as the tournament now is growing, what are some of the lessons that you've picked as organizers to say, this is why maybe we're into sports? These are some of the things that we can give back to the community.
I'll go back to our first edition. It was very much organized because it wasn't really our first event. We were from doing my events that used to be King of the Mountain. Labeswa hostela Emalkans. So when we got back to Manzini, we decided to do the sticks. Logis inspiration kakhulu. It's the kids of the community. All we are doing is to give back to the community. The funds that we're collecting, we make sure we take back to the community. Our communities, it's Elwandle Kunvin Hlambeni. They have 13 Wemadlala with about 135 kids. The center show where they have food, and they were labanye sibakhanze bete madlala, sabakhele madlala, sabafakele mathange, just like that.
Giving back to the community.
Yes, sir.
Kapsile, to you, it's been a break of almost 2 to 3 years due to COVID-19.
Yes.
From the time that you took a break to this moment, what are the new changes? What can you expect? I mean, you can't return the same way. Prior to COVID. What are the changes? What can you expect? What's new? What's going to be interesting to the cyclist?
Okay, sibuke nje ukuthi sike saba nesikhathi eside lo mdlalo wamabhayisikili. Everyone is excited to coming back to Emma Sports. So lokusha cishe nje kubathembisa i-race letaba mnanzi, they well organized. Yes, isikhathi sibe sincane ngekufanele nakuqala. But nje we are trying sinekucela kuma communities ukuthi nabo basibambise siza organize le race because kuba impumelelo kwale race kufaka ekhathi ukuthi ama cyclists ajabulile, i-race ibe kahle, ema stickers ema markers konke kwaba clear, ema cyclists ethu angalahleki. So sitawucela nje ku community ukuthi basibambise bamfana bangasusi ema stickers lese siwafakile la khombisa yona indlela ukuthi tabe ihamba phi kuze sitowenda show ukuthi ema cyclists ethu awalahleki khona na semnyakeni lotako batokhona ukuthi babuye ukuthi batabe bahambe racing letabe ibe impumelelo.
Kapsile, now this is a different race, but ngicabanga races are fun in terms of starting point, lama protocols are fun. I want you to drive me through some of the things that you require as the title sponsor, as the organizer. This is the starting point. On the mark, the cyclists are online. The call time, well, you're going to tell us the call time at some point. Do you leave a message to them before they leave? This is a different race. It was part of them. They were the likes of Inyatsi, but you can see messages being shared. Is there a message that you will be sharing to the cyclists prior to the event, since you are the organizers? Is there a specific message?
Yes. Firstly, it's no helmet, no ride.
Just like in the pictures.
Yes, just like in the pictures. My helmets abo, because now with the helmet, definitely you are not going to ride because it's safety first. And then ema goodie bags together with ema numbers abo legungona atabe abahlukanisa ngema race categories abo kanjalo labatayifaka ke la kuleli bicycle labo kuze batokhona kubonakala ukuthi benda i-race lengakanani and so on and so forth.
Thuli ngicabanga ukuthi now ungena for the 4th edition umuntu angathitshela ukuthi yathithini sebavele ba competitive in terms of organizing something. Kusho ukuthi nangithini competitive, kusho ukuthi in terms of your calendar of activities ka cycling, they can mark to say end of September or beginning of October. Every time there should be moment sticks MTB, which means you're on the calendar. This start off, if you can see, the start off, it tells you something. It's quite relaxed. But I will see maybe it's a social race or anything. But to you, are you now planning to make sure that as title sponsors, to make sure that this becomes one of the biggest events in the cycling history? Are you planning to make it sort of a professional where we can see more than what is expected?
Yes, sir, we are. We were actually in 2020. It's going to be a national championship, MTB, but then COVID. We Sticks is not going anywhere. It's going to be there and it's going to be bigger and better. Yes.
It's going to be big and it's going to be better.
And
Now,
it's going to be better.
it's a challenge because there are quite of protocols that I want to hear from you. But coming to you a bit, Kapsile, I think we've had incidences where if I'm a cyclist, nangabe nami ngimshove emabhayisikili, ngihlele ekhaya, ngithibuta ukuthi angeke yini kuphindze kwendeke. Sibene incident kule race rocetsa kuyibona. My cyclists got lost during the rest. Part of the reasons is the issue of the mama markings on the road. We'll see in terms of your markings, how is it? In terms of water point, is everything organized? Nasitsi siyasuka. I'm trying to draw the picture to the viewer. Nasitsi suka Manzini Club. Shothi nasuka Manzini Club. Siyathi ukuthi sengcabo. Is it clear? Are the signs clear? Protocol on the road, police and everything. What's the story? They will share the pictures to show you what happened on the day. This is how confusing it was, as you explained to us. At some point you noted a few things, Tuli, and it was not quite funny because you end up being number 4, but in the beginning maybe you're number 1.
Yeah.
So it's quite confusing. What can you expect from your tournament, Kapsile?
Okay, how MTB sticks is different. Guti, we've got marshals, plenty of them, over 100 marshals that we have. La train wago si vele sesemkhangasweni nje bekwa trainer every Wednesday siyayimithe. Sibafundzise ukuthi yini lesiyibhekile kibo emgwaqweni basagathe ema-cyclists noma basa director ema-cyclists shothi nje kokuqala we've got ema marshals la chamuka khona ka Moment Electrical la batawa bona ke bagibeli bamabhayisikili ngeuniform yethu la batabe bayigcokile ya ka Moment Electrical imashali ke iba ne flag yayo ibe nemfengwane cishe ngiyibola basisita ukuthi ema cyclists ethu angalahleki every corner everywhere there's a marshal lo khona unabe kune 10 abakhanza noma bangi2 labakhombisa ukuthi lana uyajika lana wenda njani lana uyachubeka si avoida kona ku history yethu ke ku 4th edition sesengake saba nebamvu labalahleka
Uyambona the cyclist lo
ngiyambona
look what happened.
Confused.
Yeah,
Yes.
confused.
Confused.
And the way he's going to take a turn, probably was not supposed to take a turn.
For sure.
But he look at behind and he saw something on the trees. There's something red there.
Those are the stickers.
Yes, that's
Those
the
are the
stickers.
markers,
But
yes.
but this is also something related to how the roads are. Look at the confusion that's being created. So those are the men in the yellow and orangish jackets. Those are the men
Who are
that we have,
supposed to be the marshals.
marshals that we have on the roads.
Yes.
And to ensure that they don't get lost. Now, let me also get to understand this issue. These are open roads, which means and everything. And there is different things we find on the road. Could be animals, could be for the danger, of which counts is listening the tingom the step max. But how do you now ensure safety of the cyclist?
Okay.
Because you can't be sure of safety of a cyclist if you're using open roads like this.
All right. Lokwenye lese isikwende we do engage the community sibakhulumisa sibachazele sibacele ukuthi njengatotilwane bazame ukuthi susa on the day of the race nebantwana bangadlali ekhathe emgwaqweni nasekuchamuke ama cyclists bese baba too excited because lise ngamshayisa libhayisikili nasekulimela umfana ne cyclist seyithenza betekile nayo sayilimele umuntu akasajabuli ngerace yethu so siyayisicele vele kuma communities but people labahamba kuma communities basikhulumele nabo basicelele today nje we had ukuthi banfana basusa some of the stickers le ku the mountain zanele zimabele where the big race goes up to so siyacela shem balaleli netakhamuti tase elwandle kuthi siyacela nesikhulumisele bamfana netinja nesibophele tingadobe sesetiqosha ema cyclist basaqosha wona amabhayisikili kubambisana nje nekuthi sikhumbule ukuthi why are we doing this race because nangabe le race ingabi success isho ukuthi angeke ibuye noma angeke isafana eminyakeni lotayo because a lot of people batawuvangaza ukuthi we can't do the sticks because of 1 2 and 3 so we try to avoid them for that kanjalo instead we want more people to come on board because more people better on board so kusho ukuthi more children are going to benefit from the
Nyambuka Mantuli yakubuka ukuthi hayimana wazwachazela point la and I think it's something she wanted to say next because my question is we boni kula race tool now ubukela from the first edition this is the 4th edition you're going to tell us what's been driving you as the title sponsors but in terms of the growth what is the reaction of the cyclists after the race basuke bathini in terms of how maybe the event was and nine for my reaction what's your immediate also reaction? What are the reactions that you get from the cyclists and from the crowd, the increase of the crowd? I know the records are there. The first edition, Beong 35, Sakura Saba 65. So far, Simegoup in terms of number registration, just share. But to you, on behalf of the title sponsors, the reaction of from the cyclists and how far the tournament has grown itself.
It's unbelievable a reaction of my cyclists. Nababoya basuke ba happy. Batang shayela na beng nemanga. But basuke ba happy, and you can see nje nalete na piabo. I'll go back to the first. The first one they were like 200 and something, more than 200. Let me just say. Second one, it was more than 270. Third edition, that was 300, more than 300 cyclists.
So far in terms of how the registration is going.
Okay, so far la seba registered
I think we're on 80 right now.
On 80.
Okay.
Yona ihamba kancane like you said now uqala ukuthi ngeke kuzekufane na before since nje sonke sathi ukuthi sibuya kuphi, but yeah utomangala ukuthi ku the last week or the last 2 days sithola ema entries langakanani. Kungaqala nje kancane ngazothi but siyathi ukuthi balaleli lokusebabonile nje they are going to start registering. Labanye nje sabavele baqalile bayangena online bayagcwalisa ama form abo.
Okay. Sipisa singeneke ku registration process. In terms of distances that you have. You mentioned them at the beginning, but there's a sort of focus. There's a reason why maybe the 50, the highest is the 50. Mostly the competitors, what are the expectations? Because those ones are the ones who want to know where the water points are. And then you tell us 50 is Sugapi figure group, 15 is Sugapi figure group.
Okay, i-58 for isuka khona emanzini club ihambe through iCoats Valley elwandle yona ke iyogcina eTulu kuZanele Mabele, which is our main, you know, catch
point. Yes.
Ufuna bafikele eMabele naZanele. So that's the 50 kilometers.
You are reacting more than you're explaining. So I think the view, I got confused. The viewer got confused. Okay, yes.
And then there's the 30 kilometers now. Sina ema water points 8 for about 7. So ema water points. So we believe ukuthi cishe angeke bahambe esigabale sithe bangadibani ne water point. So we've tried to do that ukuthi kumenge momo. And then 30 kilometers nayo usuka khona emanzini club. Okay, also i-race efiyaqala isuka nga exactly 7:30 iyaphuma.
7:30 in the morning.
7:30 in the morning.
Okay.
50 kilometers iyaphuma. Yeah. Think
yes, then the 30 and the 15.
Yes.
And now I think also that one clear picture that maybe comes to you once again, it's also the international invitation. Before I come to you, Tuli, but maybe let's give you maybe some time to also to think of the numbers. Tuli, maybe to you've seen how maybe the response from the cyclists and the cycling association as well when it comes to this tournament. Have you had discussion maybe at some point to make it you mentioned that you wanted at some point to join as a national championship moment, but now can you make it an open international competition so far, where because for now they come in terms of just individual, where you can invite outside club, it becomes a regional tournament. Have you gone that far to think of the tournament being a regional tournament?
We are working towards that. Let's settle hlala phasi sibuke with our race principal ukuthi lena ihamba kanjani. Then we can approach a cycling association sisho ukuthi yathi si interested in this, nabo bayasho ukuthi moment, are you interested in doing this? Then that is when we can show inshisekelo. They've been supporting us. I remember the past weekend in JBC naye Magezotwa McNamara Lobiaga Cycling Association as take those lalela ukuthi ngabe sithini lemhlanganweni yethu asilungise lapha nalapha asiyothi cha lo kusenakhohlwa akwendiwa so kwendiwa kaso. For that siyabonga Magezotwa.
Okay, in terms of budget, maybe if it's not off record, I mean if it's not private information, if it's not private information, what's the package? And maybe vis-a-vis to what was the package in the previous edition?
The thing about us, we do not really have a specific budget ukuthi umuntu ukhipha na imali nayo lengaka. We just do angisho ukuthi siya overspender.
Yes.
But we just do ukuthi nyalo we need this, nyalo we need this. Sitawubona after the race ukuthi this is how much we have used as a company and this is how much we have got from our sponsors. We haven't passed 80,000 in the past.
Okay, in the previous 3 races.
Yes.
80K.
80K.
Yes.
Who organizer. But Kuma returns, I'll talk about the previous year. We got about 165,000. Lesa 70 sa kubuyisela back to the community. Solo siqalile ke this 4th edition kucela kuma sponsors ethu in Swaziland and in South Africa. To date we are at 107,000 from sponsors
For this current tournament.
for this
170K.
107.
Including the prize for the winner on the day.
Yes, it will be taken from that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Normally in the previous editions, how much were you giving the winner to compare to what you might give this year?
It's unfortunate that we cannot disclose
At the moment.
Yes.
Yes. Private information. Now, Specie, just to give us also an open mind in terms of international participation, do we have few international faces that have registered so far for the competition? You said it's 80. Do we have few faces we can say maybe it's a cyclist from Bombela, a cyclist from PE, a cyclist from Harare, a cyclist from Lilong, a few things like that?
Definitely, we do have my international cyclists lasangenile. Though I might not be sure of the numbers, but we do have my internationals lasasegakhona ku race yethu.
Ngabe thuli lokho kusho ukuthini ngale kukhula kwe tournament nanibona ukuthi whenever there is an open registration for cyclists kuvele inombolo that abantu bacamka ngaphandle kusho ukuthini kule tournament nakumaketa nini in terms of title sponsors and organizers?
Kusho ukuthi ama cyclists ethu siwaphatha kahle and we growing. We just have to put more effort into growing the sport. Yeah.
All right. I'll also look at the pictures a bit. There are a few things I want also to highlight, and then I think it might also have an essence to what we're talking about, because we're talking about a title sponsor that has sponsored this tournament for 3 editions. So
Yes,
we're entering the 4th edition. As you can see, we've now returned to COVID-19, and then it's quite relaxed and everything, but health is the Minister of Health is so critical when it comes to hygiene in terms of how cyclists are taken off. She touched on the issue of wearing a casket, anything. Do you have other precautions maybe that you are putting in place to ensure that cyclists are safe? Do you have the emergency services on standby in case a cyclist alimaro mkwatwene? What are the precautions you have in terms of health?
Okay, we do have EPR on standby. We do have sweepers. We do have our marshals have radios to communicate with us. We do have a van, a construction van. They tobe ihamba nayo isweeper. More than lama sweepers lapa tobe ahamba. Usitshela ukuthi kwendekani bamfu bethu baphatheke njani endleleni.
All right. Specifically before let's say a short break and let you go, what is the message maybe you have for the cyclist? I know that you mentioned in even one of the few names that you expect that on the day they should be there. What is the message for the cyclists and the clubs that will be joining as you continue the preparations? Nokuba kumbutanje le date ukuthi the cyclist in. I mean the cyclists, the tournament in.
Okay. The tournament here is on the 8th of October, which is next weekend. Lelanga leli alisilo nje le mabhayisikili kuphela. We've got other fun activities latabe akhona. Lafaka ekhathi, there's going to be a mini aerobathon. We are going to have about 4 instructors. Labatabe basi entertainer nabo on the day. Sitabe sinawo ema games ebamvana labatabe badlala batijabulisa ngawo sinema stalls. Labafuna ke bangathinzana nemanzini club. We've got all that information on our socials. Lokunye ke sekungaba kucela wona ama cyclists ethu ukuthi angenele le event yethu siyafuna kuyibona iba inkulu iba success for the benefit of the kids. Sathi nje ukuthi keep that in mind ukuthi it's a charity event. We are giving back to the communities. Kunebamfana lesathi ukuthi for sikhathi lesingaka 6 months batabe bakhona ukuthi baye emadladleni angakibo ba connect for la kudle, because that's the main drive go le event yethu le.
All right, beautiful stuff. Thank you very much for a moment, Electrical Contractors. It's all about giving back to the community. The fourth edition will be underway on the 8th of October this year, 2022. They are looking at also improving the standard of the sport. If time allows, as per message from Temidlalo, this could be one of the events that will be on the calendar of Cycling Association. And if also the movement and in terms of means also it allows, as per words of SBC, this could be one of the regional tournaments. They want to grow the sport. They have given it attention. Numbers have been growing from the first edition, from when they had about 80, they moved to 200 to 300. Now, so far they have got 80 people have registered prior to the tournament. That is almost, should I say, 2 weeks away or less than 2 weeks. So anything could happen in the remaining 9 to 10 days. So give them the attention. Cyclists, this is a chance to take part of this competition. Thank you very much to the moment for this tournament. We'll also talk about it as time goes and as time nears to the actual day of the tournament, where we also get maybe a chance to hear from the Cycling Association and some of the cyclists on how their preparations are going so far for the tournament. Otherwise, he's already in the studio. He's already preparing to give you everything as a loyal viewer. His name is Temidlalo. He'll be here after the break.
This is Patizo Msibi, and I will be your host for Qatar 2022 World Cup right here on Eswatini TV.
Sanibonani nosokela mahle libito lami ngilinda Master Dlamini kuyintokoto mbukela ukuthi nakulo mnyaka 2022 umsakazo Eswatini TV utakulethela iWorld Cup Qatar 2022, the first ever World Cup letaba se-Middle East, the first ever World Cup letaba in summer.
What a way of ushering you into your festive season as we bring you live games, your chosen best games, live here on your #1 channel, Eswatini TV.
You're talking of great countries from the African continent. You're talking of Ghana, you're talking of Senegal, you're talking of Tunisia, all people representing this great continent. You'll want to follow the games.
Players like Kylian Mbappe, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, sitabe sibaletha live Eswatini TV. Ndabe ngihost yakho ke ngihleli nama-analysts, former players, the best in the kingdom. From mhla ka-20 November kuya mhla ka-18 December, ungayinzawo bukela Eswatini TV.
To give you the best games for the best edition of the football in the world. Stay tuned, stay live. We will be here for the edition.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. Discover just how far you'll go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience in the kingdom.
He's already in the house to give you sports updates. Linda Dlamini nguvusele ngozi.
Chief Arush.
Yeah, Chief Arush.
Yeah, ngiyakuvusela Fabrice sibalo wami ngithobo lokukhulu ngivusele ama-loyal viewers labamvu labahlale bona njalo basinika liso nendlebe kuva ukuthi ingabe sibaphatheleni kule ngulesithathu nje lokwendekile ngeweekend nalokutawendeka futhi kule mbela somvulo siyakuyo.
Nginembuto master and angakubude before sikhuluma ngaloko ngolokuthi mhlawumbe mbukelo uthathe ukuthi sike sakhuluma ngakho. Being a very dedicated man kuma sports nanamuhla so ngiyadibuta ukuthi usithwalani nesikhathi sokuhlabela siyahlabela wena you're an artist or you were a former artist.
Fabrice ungayilapho but nje most of the artists la khona la athole a platform kweqala kuperforma kuma shows lebengiwenda but singayilapho.
How? No, this is good. You shared a stage with some of the current artists lesinabo la kangwane.
Asingayi Fabrice lapho.
Can I play the clip? Can I play the clip for the viewer? Now, Dlamini, over the weekend, sibonile Sibebe survivors. Bokona Sibebe, and you were there for a specific reason. On the day, not only the walk to the area, the Sivegutsi Ibe divided in two areas this time around compared to them Besiati Pambilini. But now figure on the day you were there. I know you have a catchy eye for news. What did you get on the field? Wakanzani, wafika wakanzani?
Fabrice siyakhumbula ukuthi sibebe survivor si this year baqhamukene lenyawo lolusha lenyawo lolusha ke litawufaka ema sports latawudlalwa a day before kuhambe kuyoncencwe lona lenzaba yakasibebe kungidlaliwe ke Fabrice Saturday bekunema sports aerobics bekakhona kwaqalwa ngawe ekseni ba tivocavoca bamvu bathina bativocavoca khona esibebe kuma aerobics base bahamba ke labanye. Oh yes, beautiful view khona engeneni. Yes, khona engeneni esibebe bekune ma corporates ke Fabrice lapha ngekwahlukahlukana kwawo njoba ngisho ukuthi baqala ekseni kuma aerobics baqala bativocavoca wonke umuntu wativocavoca ngumgcibelo lo akukayiwa kuyoncencwa lenzaba ngelisonto ngumgcibelo lo bonke bamvu baphumile ekseni. Yes, it was windy but bamvu bakhona ukuthi bahambe bashukumise umtimba ekseni. Then after so nalesikhashanyana nasebasuka la kuma aerobics base bahamba bangale kunalenye inkundla ekudlalela khona nje khona lasibebe kunenkundla ekudlalela labasebayakhile noma labayilungisile la kudlala khona la kutawudlala khona ibhola nala kutawudlala khona ibeach volleyball nala kutawubekwa khona amatafula aka checkball. So kwasike hanjwa ke kodlala lapho njengoba ngisho ukuthi bekunama corporates lahlukahlukene lapho laqala adlala ibhola lo yanje lesimbona yashakhahle ibhola susa ibhola epalini ngumbazo Gamethi bekavimbile this time siyathi ukuthi incumbi yabantu bamati as a defender beka khona FNB akhona Real Image akhona Railway akhona Ezulwini Town Board akhona bese kuba ne team team le yakhona khona yema locals bathi ingweni Highlanders lebe ikhona lapha bebakhona nje babaningi Fabrice. So ngicabanga ukuthi bekuhlangene about 6 teams labeka khona lapha adlala SNPF lebe idlalelwa nguyembawa zo beyikhona nayo icomputer bema sports labeka khona njengoba ngisho abantu bafisa kwati ngedlala i-techball basi bawubona lo mdlalo ngumdlalo lothumile ngumdlalo lotakahle bafisa nabo ba interested ekjoineni le sport nekusati ukuthi imithetho yakhona sidlalwa kanjani. So ngicabanga ukuthi bekuyi mixer not only techball though because bebafuna kwati techball nangala ku beach volleyball badlala bamvu. Unfortunately ku beach volleyball bekude mhlambe lo mhlabathi le siugatsile lo standard dezimbazo Gamethi legend Eswatini football ngiyo le court ye beach volleyball le kusatofaka kahle lo mhlabathi ke Fabrice la kusengakapheleli ngicabanga ukuthi after sekuphelile because the idea ukuthi vele bamvu sale badlala la kube nje yinvo vele le taba khona njalo. Yes,
sisakhuluma lenzaba ye-beach volleyball master. I've got questions because siyambona Mbaso la uyatibuta naye ukuthi vele tawulunga yini lemvole
even Romario Bongiswa yeah bekakhona lapha wafika.
Yes, because the issue here, yes, I'm loving what I'm seeing, the skills and everything, the attendance. For football makes sense. But for beach volleyball, bathi batawusebenza kanjani? Sibonile lenzawo no graphic lojwayelekile, but how are they going to ensure, because nasikhuluma nge-beach volleyball kunathiwa amagama, there is beach and there is volleyball.
Yeah.
Usho ukuthi udlala i-volleyball enzaweni ye-beach. So ngisafuna usicace master ukuthi awende kanjani ukuthi lenzawo ifane nase-beach.
Okay, Fabrice,
imaintainwe nasithi kune-tournament noma ungasuka namuhla ufike ukhanze ukuthi kufanele ukuthi kudlalelwe beach volleyball.
Fabrice, I remember 5 or 6 years ago siyanaphathizwe eSidrokotho lapho khona bekudlalwa khona ivolleyball bebathathela umhlabathi the river sand lapha emfuleni kwasese kusethwa up le beach volleyball. So nalapha khona esibebe bafuna kwenda njalo batawulanza lesihlabathi lesemfuleni le river sand ibuye ilungiswe kahle bese bayifaka lapha and kunendlela takhona kunema measurements akhona ke Fabrice lokuthi lo mhlabathi ubanganani even nale court, because uyabona lapha ukuthi kwakhiwa nalapho lama measurements akhona a standard ukuthi kumele kwenziwe kanje, just like any other sports ukuthi kuba nema measurements akhona. So ngicabanga ukuthi akuhluphi kakhulu ukuthi because many countries, African countries, at a beach, but they play beach volleyball, they play inqumbi yama sports.
Ngasaba khona most terms and conditions yokuyinaka lenzawo in terms of nangabe thina sithatha umhlabathi wase ucamuka ku river. Ngicishe ngathi river volleyball ngoba sithatha but ke sitawuna kanjani umhlabathi ukuthi uqhubeke kube le standard, because lo jwayelekile e beach nje nama nakafika ukhona le system, there is natural system.
Okay, asengikwendele example ngendele babukele example Fabrice.
True.
Kube kusele ngasomhlolo somhlolo artificial turf, but kahle kahle ibhola kudinga ukuthi idlale natural grass, but le artificial turf kuze itawuba conducive for the players kudinga ukuthi before igame iniselwe, uyabona, an artificial turf. So nalapha la kutawufaka khona le river sand, because i-beach volleyball kudinga ukuthi lo mhlabathi angeke uze ube dry, uyabona, uyaniselwa lo mhlabathi, unganiselwa bese soba mandi kakhulu. Kunendlela yakhona, they know how to maintain.
Nanguva kahle master, it's artificial beach.
Yes, because ngeke Fabrice utayithatha beach utayithatha bese thembile ngalomnye iminyaka ngoba kwayivela tindzaba ukuthi ngathi naso sitaba netunnel letawuletha lwandle, but kwagcina kungendeke Fabrice, but nje kuyanakwa ku standard lokuthi nangabe akusiko e beach the official beach kwendiwa kanjani, kuyaniselwa tonke letinvo leto kunendlela yakhona.
Okay, sibuya kancane master kule initiative yesibebe. What are they trying to do, master? Nangibuka ukuthi it's a once off, it's a tournament, I mean say it's an event, it's a sort of a recreational event that is held once a year. Going forward, are these tournaments or these facilities going to be used once in a year for those for occasions, baby? Noma games tawuhlala bakhona, but sini labacamekela nama initiatives.
Fabrice, the idea is we have to see in every race, noma in every tournament, kuba ne warm up, pinze kube ne cool down. Warm up session, cool down session. So the games, the aerobics, gonke the games ebola ngisho ngayibeka ukuthi ngibeke bamvu labantu understand ngayo ukuthi yi warm up bendela ukuthi lo mtimba even nale ngqomvo utilungiselele ukuthi Sunday nyoncanca indzaba then after, because ema games nje ebola ema semifinals nema finals adlalwa ngelisonto, lokusho ukuthi bamvuna sebabuya lenzabeni babuya bayacedzisa ema games sebabuya sengisho ukuthi I recovery session leyo nangayibeka kanjalo. So ngicabanga ukuthi tonke letinto leto batibukile, because final nje kwagcina kuye the local team Ingweni Highlanders idlala ne Railway basembaka yagcina iwinile Ingweni ema locals. Ngicabanga ukuthi it's good for them because basekhaya bona, otherwise ngiletinto leto Fabrice kakhulu kodwa Fabrice ku refresher, because la bebakhona lapha sakhuluma kucala last week ku women football lebekhona emanzini club ukuthi ba refresher akudlala ihlala the whole week udlala emsebentini, kuyadzinga ukuthi nge weekend uthole that one thing that awukhona ukuthi refresh ingqondo yakho.
Ngoba unorefreshanini ngoba weekend ngilapho kuba busy vele. Now, some of the people who attended the event on the day over the weekend at Sibebe, they had a reaction. They spoke to this man. They gave their reaction. What do they think about the initiative? How was the day itself? Going forward, what should be changed? What should be increased? What should be modified? Few things that those who attended the event shared with this man in the studio over the weekend.
Lo mcondvo usuka nasacabanga le event ngoba originally i-event bekuyi-walk. I-walk le nale hike le yengcabo 6 kilometers minimum. So siqala vele kushukuma kusengakabi nento lenkulu but kuyakhula siyabona bamse bayaqala nekuwalk ekseni bayagijima benda nalokwa. So ezikhula ke le event sesiyabuka hayi man yathi lento ingaba inkulu kakhulu sikwende nje kube fitness weekend. Sibuka lokunenge ke sibuka nethi sponsor sethu lesinaso nje nyalo Nedbank uhosta bo Comrades Marathon eSouth Africa uhosta tinto letinenge leti related to fitness. So sesicabanga kanjalo esino man asesingetela okunye lokungenda nje kube yinfo lethinza impilo yemuntu the physical well-being and siyibuka ngekuthi sibuya kubo COVID bantu bebahlete emakhaya banema frustrations even not just physically even mentally bekunetinkinga letinenge leti bangangiloko nje letinkinga lesipenato empilweni yebantu nje
kakhulu ngoba tifo letiningi bodokotela bakhala ukuthi imtimba yethu vela sishukumisa. Nathi sicela kubonga kakhulu kwi-board of directors executive yasemsebentini lebona kukuhle ukuthi sithi sebendi ngasiletha la sisite sitoshukumisa umtimba ngoba ingqondo le fit yenda ukuthi nesemsebenzi uconnect flow kanzi ingqondo lesigcwele ngemafutha naso kanzi nesemsebenzini soyalala. So nje sijabulile kakhulu nalemvela yindile Esibebe sicabanga ukuthi it is a very good start. Next time sitawubona lokukhulu kunaloko kakhulu from Sibebe.
Kumcoka kakhulu shem every day kuba neti-stress tasemsebentini dealing with difficult clients and sometimes moody colleagues and everything nje work pressures, home pressures, family matters yakubo lokho. So kumcoka lokho uhlupha uyo socialize so ukhohlwe ma personal stresses akho and activate your body nje kumcoka nalokho exercise because some of lama stresses aya impact us wathwala emsebentini bese kuthiwa nga health issues kanti maybe lamanye nasingathi kushukumisa. It will be better.
Siyabonga kakhulu lesukubona ukuthi Sibebe survivor for iminyaka ledlulile besole bang one day and masibuka ukukhula kwale concept nathi Esibebe resort sibone kumcoka ukuthi sikhulise ngoba sibona ukuthi sine interest kakhulu ngoba lendlela eya viewpoint yenca ngasekhaya so nathi as resort that no nathi asivele and be major partners Sibebe survivor so no asende lo 3 days so that ema corporates nema participants ethu a benefit kakhulu ngoba all along kuba usiba ngo one day but now sesithi no so sesithema as a fitness weekend nje uyabona nje ngeshare kunama aerobics ngalana kunebhola kubuye ngale ngaseshisa nyama sine music which is going on sibe ne volleyball sibe ne tag ball lesukwenda ku promoting I fitness nalokuthi I concept ikhule ibe themed kwade nje uthi no lena nje it's a fitness weekend.
Beautiful stuff. Reactions from different attendees on the day. The likes of Larim Mhlanga talk about himself, Jerry Gamez, and other people who took part of the initiative, and they believe that something that they can build on as they can also create a sort of a new recreation for everyone to be welcomed. Those who can't be able to go to the gyms, they can be able to use this facility. Now, moving on, Tech Ball, we talked about it over the years since they introduced themselves to the Kingdom of Eswatini. When I mean years, I mean for the past 2 years. We're now talking about them attending the World Championship. Should I say Championship or World Cup in Germany in November this year? They have got ongoing qualifiers where this man has also got a chance over the past weekend, to go and see what was happening, planning also to go this coming weekend, just to get the proper view. Who has qualified, Master? Who is yet to qualify? And what can we expect from the association at large?
Fabrice uteka yona indzaba yama qualifiers e-Tekball World Championships letaba 7 laseJalimane ngenyanga yaNovember kulomnyaka losetulu. Bekudlala ke aqala on Friday adlala mixed doubles. In fact lasebavele adlalile mixed doubles nama doubles. Fortunately noma ngathini fortunately noma unfortunately base Olympic Africa ungathi ngibula bathanza kuhamba phambili
the team
yes kakhulu leholwa nguZizo badlala ke Fabrice badlala nabo boTharibo bebakhona nebasemusi bebakhona Musi Double Classic bebakhona lawa ama doubles doubles lawa lapho khona kwagcina ukuthi kuwine men's na Isaac I call him Isaac yes very cool young man ngicabanga ukuthi it's a dream come true for him na men's because Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi it's not easy naba labangala ka right kwethu Olympic Africa ngicabanga ukuthi kudlala over a year ago he joined Tekball but menzi ngale watewa kakhulu sike saba naye la studio watewa kakhulu kujagulisha yona ibhola so ngicabanga ukuthi nakuye it's a dream come true ukuthi ahamba melele live ngaphandle bawo wina ke ema doubles but ke Fabrice lengunothesile because ngiyabuka ukuthi kulo 3 rounds la dlaliwe yona Olympic Africa ayikaqali kahle because if isethe qala iround eqala bayiluza they only lost 1 game ku round eqala but the next 2 rounds lokhu round 2 na round 3 abakaluzi lokusho ukuthi menzi unezizo une challenge lenkulu kakhulu because kumele ukuthi la kuqaleni yena Isaac the partner wakhe azame ukuthi ma concentration levels abesetulu kakhulu la kuqaleni because second round usuka sa pick upile iform na third round usuka sa pick upile so ngicabanga ukuthi if angazama ukuthi balungise lokho because they lost ku first round badliwa nguNjabuliso na Tharibo but eventually bahamba bawina yonke le ma rounds ema doubles.
Right. In terms of there may be future hopes in terms nguvile ukhala master ukuthi noma ba qualified noma they are doing well but ke kunama hiccups in terms of their performance. What can they do to work on their performance? Nangabe vele batawugcina vele sithi ngibo labaphumile bamelela live. Where can they work on, especially the Olympia Africa team that you're talking about?
Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi kude lokudlula i-training kakhulu lama repetitions atoba manengi kuze nalama mistakes akho lwabonako njoba ngisho nje ukuthi nginothisa kona ku Isaac ukuthi igame yakhe uyicala pass kakhulu bese soyazama ukuthi enyuke nayo agcine asa pick upile kanzi kude world stage kudzinga ukuthi from the get go nje vele uvele iform yakho ibe isetulu kakhulu I'm hoping ukuthi batakuya high performance just before the World Cup because already sevele aphumile ema results yes asele ema singles but the doubles nema mixed doubles because na kuma mixed doubles Fabrice ngikhuluma ngema mixed doubles mixed doubles Olympic Africa menze ensihle kube ngibo labahamba phambili so ngicabanga ukuthi menzi kukhona lemvola yenda kahle is a good captain because he's the captain of the team Olympic Africa nakhona lapho kukhona laba kwenda kahle these
ngiyambona sihle in the red there
yes upartnerishe naye menzi
the lady who plays I think more than 5 to 7 sporting codes.
Oh yes yes nakuye ke Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi lapho because bona first round nakhona badlala 3 rounds first round abakayidliwa igame but second round badliwa yinye third round badliwa yinye nakhona lapho kudzinga ukuthi because lamandla bese sayehla ngala kusihle nalama concentration levels but babese bakhona ukuthi bayinqobe baqualify ukuthi kube ngibo labahamba bawomelela eSwatini khona eGermany ngalana nje yes ama takers lwazi nanjabuliso yes lwazi nanjabuliso bona ke bakhona ukuthi babe sekugcineni nangingabeka kanjalo kuma mixed doubles
no nawushe egcineni usho ukuthi bakubottom
yes
yeah badlale kabi nje singayigege le
kude kudlala kabi kude kudlala kabi Fabrice kudlala kabi ukuthi akwathola ipoint unaziyo
mathuba babheka kuphi can they qualify now babuka
no my mixed doubles already sekuvele kuphelile menzi nasihle ngibo labahlele esicongweni labana mathuba lamahle ukuthi bahambe baye eGermany kuyomelela eSwatini ngicabanga ukuthi nje bangisho ukuthi a dream come true for the likes of sihle the likes of men's
man mas now siba semathubeni namahle
siba baqualifyile
batawuhamba
baqualifyile
okay
yes.
That's the headline men's and sihle that's Olympia Africa have qualified for the 2022 World Championship in
Germany yes in
November. Talking about sihle, remember table tennis about a month ago she's yet to represent the country in a regional tournament for table tennis and a couple of occasions she has represented the country when it comes to high what do you call it
rope skipping
let's not talk about
rope skipping gymnastics
handball
ngicabanga she's everywhere but naye ku tech ball because e-Olymp Africa i-Olymp Africa lelitafula likhona bayajima kakhulu and ngicabanga ukuthi ubona lokubasita kakhulu ukuthi Milton was the first one lwaya eZambia lohamba naTaribo ukuhamba bayofundza nge-tech ball in Zambia wabuya ba create yona le team bakhona ukuthi bahlanganise badlale the right players na kunyalo ngisho ukuthi bayitholile ireward yalomsebenzi wabo lo muhle their players bahamba ba representa iEswatini eJalimani.
Before we talk about what to expect, I think it's now the singles this coming weekend.
Yes.
Shokti, in terms of chances of seeing familiar faces this year might be different. When I talk about familiar faces, obviously when there's a competition of this magnitude, there's what you call open invitations, where by virtue of you being the technical director, you could fly to, Leverkusen, the city of Leverkusen, or in city of Munich, that's there. But now, where does he put the likes of Matekas? We know how they have dominated the sport. And then in terms of their chances, they can now only qualify if now one of them, in terms of singles, makes a difference.
Oh yes Fabrice uqinisile kuma singles ngicabangisile competition itabe tough kakhulu sibonile kunebadlali nakhona labatimisele bomndeni ngicabanga ukuthi was one of ema players lo ngamgatsa kakhulu kuma singles the likes of Tarib, the likes of Njabuliso ngicabanga ukuthi baneng kuma singles but ngicabanga ukuthi mine lokungijabulisile ukuthi kulama doubles nama singles bakhonela labanye kuphakamisa sadla because last year uyakhumbula ku national challenger series lapho khona wagcina ba qualifyile bo Njabuliso na Taribo ukuthi bahambe baye ePoland unfortunately bagcina bangakayi ngetindzaba tabo COVID but this year bamvu ngicabanga ukuthi labanengi lobonge kuzubacabanga ba qualifyile kuyomelela live so it's a good thing lokuthi namhla kuwina lo kusasa kuwina lo namhla kuwina lo kuwina lo kuyatshengisa ukuthi le sport si improve kanganani and nalabadlali basimukele kahle kanganani basijima kanganani.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. What we can expect from this newly introduced sport in the country that is actually doing more than what we're expecting, as we can see now. So far, they have been, represent the country in different competitions. Recently, we had referees in France, Paris, the likes of Loaz and everyone. Let's talk about
was in a vile ngimbola bahamba baya France yes as my referees go visita khona so ngicabanga ukuthi it's one of ema sports a few sports local sports la khona ukuthumela bamva ema officials overseas it's not easy some ema sports abekhona for about 15-20 years but kubelikhuni ukuthi bakhona khamba kuyomelela live not only Africa overseas. So ngicabanga ukuthi i-Turkball kulesikhashanyana lebekhona kuso last year bekumele baye kuma World Championships ePoland bangakhona due to i-COVID. Ema referees asabuya khona eFrance kuyo officiate khona nanyalo our athletes ahamba yomelela live ngaphandle. So ngicabanga ukuthi it's a good thing for ema sports ala Eswatini.
There have it. Thank you very much, Dlamini, to be in your company. And I think it's going to be once again be a lovely weekend as we now approach the single competition for this coming weekend. Otherwise, just know that a lot is happening for this coming weekend. The return of the M10 Premier League 2022-2023 Premier League season on the 1st of October, this Saturday. Games will be on different areas of the country, different stadium. Just know that now it's open to everyone. No excuse. Buy a ticket, go watch your lovely team, because on Monday during Labor Eswatini, it's going to be expanded here. We'll be discussing a lot about the games that happened day one. Your Highlanders, Wanderers, Swallows, everyone, Tabangulu, all the games will be live this weekend. Otherwise, for me and you, we'll meet again Wednesday, same place, same time. Of course.